Hello guys, it's John here. So I've been turning my attention to servos, and most servos you get from all the hobby shops, standard servo, pretty much like this one. This is a Core RC 40112. It's not a waterproof servo, so I'm looking to see how we can make it perhaps not waterproof, but a bit more water resistant. Got a couple of key areas that we need to seal up. Is here and here. So the screws go through and pull the gearbox cover and the electronics cover together. So you've got 4 screws on here. This area here, which you can see is packed with grease, and the cable, the wires that come in from the receiver, they go through into the electronics, giving the signal and the power. That's quite a weak point as well for when you're splashing around in puddles. So you can always buy a waterproof servo, of course, but I thought I'd turn my attention to see if there's a way of turning a standard servo into at least a water resistant. So I had an idea. I'm going to use a couple of things. I'm going to use the white grease for packing in the area where the servo horn attaches. I'm going to turn to my days of communications and use good old petroleum jelly, Vaseline. I'm going to pack this into the area where the cable goes through and into the servo itself. And the other little thing I thought of is you see a lot of people pack a bit of grease into these areas to make sure it's watertight as much as they possibly can. Come up with a different idea using what plumbers use. This is PTFE tape. They use this to wind around the threads of the connections and the tap valves and things like that when they're screwing those in, and you see this used a lot in the plumbing industry. And I thought I'd use this by folding, because it's quite a wide PTFE tape. It's very soft but very wide, and I thought I'd make a gasket by folding it and then folding it again, creating some strips which you can then run around the servo. Those strips would then not interfere with the servo gears in the top here. Not so much of a problem this end because it's just electronics, but that's the idea. I thought I'd come up with that idea and see if it works, and I thought I'd give you a little video just to see how I do it. Hopefully it can come out on the video and everyone can see. So first thing that we need to do is remove the 4 screws. And I don't know about you, I bought this Tamiya screwdriver cross tool set, and actually very good set for when you're doing the modelling. The screwdriver and the positive screwdrivers and things fit perfectly into the heads of the screws. So if you're sort of looking to do mods in this hobby, then it might be worth grabbing yourself these screwdriver sets, because they are much better than just using a normal standard Phillips, which doesn't fit the head of the screw properly. So yeah, quite a good idea. So there we go. There's the 4 screws. So let's have a little look inside this little thing, and just going to gently tease that off. So yeah, we can just remove the cover. So you can see here we've got a bearing in here as well, and all the gears, and remove this side, and in this side you've got the electronics. So my idea here was to literally wrap the PTFE tape around, and literally, let me pick that up on camera, wrapped around there, creates a seal, and the same again on the cover there, and that creates a seal. And then we're going to pop some, I actually run a little bit of PTFE tape around this section here as well to help with the seal, as it seals against there too. Got to put some of Vaseline, no laughing. In the comms industry, when you look at British Telecom, when they're up in the cabs and the side of the road, they connect the cables together. When they bring the cable to your house and bring it out of the ducting that comes from the street to your house, you'll see them. They use they're like crimped little crimped plastic connectors, and those connectors are actually filled, believe it or not, with petroleum jelly, and used all the time to help keep the water out of the joints, and so you don't end up with a horrible crackly telephone line. It seems to work quite well, and they've adopted that and used that all the way through. So I'm going to give that a go and see if I can use that theory in practice on this cable coming into the servo. So let's have a little look, see what we can use. Use something to pop the grease in, rather than my big fat fingers. Don't know, we're going to get this on film, and the idea is to pop that inside. Might do just temporarily put the lid on this one so I don't get my hands too greasy. Give me a bit more. And the idea is just to help run that in. Move the cable the other side and help see that slides into the cable void between the rubber and the actual wiring itself. So let's see if we can gently packing. I'm just gently popping it in so it fills up. There we are. All the way around. Any excess will wipe off, of course. There we go. Doing that little jiggle, as Arkwright would say, jiggle it. I suppose the other thing I could do is just run that up here. Run that, if you like, downside from downside on there, downriver, as I say, and then as you pop that back, there you go, and that'll help. It's a shame really the manufacturers didn't think of this beforehand. I suppose they want you to purchase their waterproof versions. Okay. So, as you can see, I'm now pop the PTFE tape around the areas of the actual servo. Up inside here as well, you can probably just see little areas. This is just a white grease, it's like a marine grease. It's quite just a little bit of extra in there. It may squeeze out as we pop the top gearbox on, making sure you get it the right way around. You want the bearing coming where the actual shaft is, and you can see lots of grease there, so give that just a jiggle, as Arkwright would say, and wipe off any excess for the moment. Give it a good squashing. Same again for the underside, making sure we get this right way around. A little bit fiddly. We want to make sure that that's it. Good squeeze there, and then what we'll do is there we go, little clunk as you heard. Just wipe my hands a little bit of the grease, like so. And then what we'll do, we'll pop in the screws. Gentle with these screws as well, because plastic housing is quite delicate on most of the servos that you buy. And then I always come back a notch. You just feel it click. You know you've captured the same threads. So always back a quarter turn, and you can sort of feel it catch the same, so you don't cross thread. And that sometimes helps. Yeah. So I tend to do these in cross, so we don't stress the actual servo. So I tend to cross those. So you sort of work in a diagonal pattern. So you do this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then you sort of even as you're tightening the actual cover down. It's good practice to get to. It helps keep when you're screwing things together. So just to the point where it's tight. There you go. To the point where it's tight, and then what I actually do is, because I mean these screwdrivers, I've taken the main big handle off. So just give it a quarter turn. Done. That's it. Quarter turn. So you've got to the point where it's tight, and a quarter turn, and that should be enough. There we go. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see from on the video, is lots of greases packed back through there, like so. So we'll give that a little wipe, like so. We can always pop a little bit more if we need to. And as you can see there, the bit of grease probably need to pack a little bit more back through there as well. So, and the idea is that grease will stop any water from going through. So just going to trim with a hobby knife the excess of here. Sharp blade on here. Okay. Just going to trim that off. And the same again on the top one. trim off the excess. All those mamas out there who make cakes, a bit like that I suppose, trimming off the pastry. And then once that's trimmed off, okay. In theory, gently using my knife, just going to pull that rubber down, pack some more back in there. Okay, just fill it up. Where misses, get it in there. And in theory, you've got then you should have a nice tightly packed, and it should actually be at least waterproof. So you can see now got a gasket top and bottom all around your servo. You've got your grease packed into the top area, and we've packed some grease from Vaseline into where the cable goes, and that should at least make a standard servo at least watertight. Not saying it would make it waterproof. I don't think it's very easy unless you buy one that's completely waterproof. There are other availability of servos that are waterproof already, but at least this way, if you decided to use a standard servo because you didn't want the expense of a waterproof one, you've got the option there to use a very cheap and inexpensive bit of PTFE tape. It's good enough for plumbing, it's good enough for RC. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and any comments, likes and subscribe be very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Take care, bye bye for now.